Why is my desk so dusty? Hey YouTube, my name is Arthur Crow, and if you're anything like me, you've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire 2. Like a lot of Slay the Spire 2. I'm not even really good at the game either. Look at my win and loss rate on Ironclad. I keep playing the Hellraiser deck even though I know it's pretty awful. On the off chance that one time it gets going.
I tried to do a strategy and then I tried to do that strategy and it didn't work.
There's that saying that says if you like sausages, you should never see them being made. Is that true for video games too? So I thought it'd be a fun experience to dig into the decompiled code for Slay the Spire 2 and learn what's under the hood in MegaCrit's popular roguelike deck builder. Decompiling source code for video games has always been possible, not just for Godot. You could do it for Unity and Unreal Engine as well. In the end, whatever executable they send to be played on your local machine are just instructions. And source code is exactly that. It's just instructions. But due to Godot's open source nature, I don't think anyone's really set up a robust encryption and decryption for Godot published games. And honestly, I don't think you should do this for any other game. Decompiling games can lead to pirated software and just general misappropriation of the studio's intellectual property. So I don't recommend doing it for just any project. But on r/Godot subreddit, there was a post titled Slay the Spire 2 can be decompiled. And Jake Card, the lead engineer on MegaCrit, had to say, "It made me extremely happy to find out that other game developers learned something from reading through our code and our scenes." With Jake's blessing, I think this one's going to be an ethical use of decompiled projects. That being said, I'm not going to show you how I decompile the project. That you're going to have to find out yourself. We're going to jump right into the project already decompiled. Alright, I'm in. Opening up the Slay the Spire 2 project in Godot, let's see what we have in store. Where are we right now? We are in the main game scene. Game transition. Whoa! Oh yeah, this is the feedback screen that you get when you click send feedback. Maybe the source code. Let's see what's here. Core GD script. So they do have some GD script here. But it looks like a lot of the code is actually in C#. Oh, okay, so this is showing all the achievements that are implemented, but as you know, Slay the Spire 2 is in early access, so we don't actually have these achievements. Why don't we take a look and see what some of these are? There we go. Our first look at actual Slay the Spire 2 source code. I see, so I think the power here is actually the value under the characters, let's say strength, weakness. There's a bunch of powers that are in the game. I'm looking for maybe like a definition, right? Like a enum of these powers. Oh, here we are. I think this is it. Okay, so using classic object-oriented programming here, where blur power will inherit power model and get all the extra goodies that come with it. Let's go to something I'm actually knowledgeable on. Let's say like accuracy increases the power of shivs, right? There we go. Modify damage additive. Card tag does not contain a card tag shiv. Then we return the base amount. How about we go back to the achievements? These seem like a lot simpler. So for the region, it looks like there is a task called After Forge. Oh, okay, so this is doing some sort of like, almost like a link filter to get all the Sovereign Blade type of cards and doing a for loop on them and checking if their base value is greater than 999, in which case it unlocks this Regent achievement. That makes sense because you could have more than one Sovereign Blades. I did not know that. Alright, why don't we actually boot up the game and see what it looks like. MegaCrit logo. And we start off with the Ironclad, of course, the classic. It looks like this is your first time playing Slay the Spire. Don't think so. Start off in the Overgrowth. I think the first run always has you fighting this Nibbit. Let's see if we can mess with the code a little bit here. Radio blur. Whoa, look at that. Combat UI. Health bar. What if we can mess with the health bar here? 800 out of 80. Oh, we can make our health infinite. Pretty funny. Why don't we move the Nibbit, you know? Mr. Nibbit, please. You're causing us too much trouble. 300. What about 100? Ah, come here. 300? We're so close to each other. Make this one. Ooh, long Nibbit. Ah, now we have our pet Nibbit. We could probably just do this now. It's close enough. We made ourselves a little Nibbit backpack. Okay. No, we gotta get serious here. We've got a mission. We have a mission that we wanted to complete. Okay, now we're back in Godot and we wanted to take a look at map generation. To do that, let's navigate to a folder called map, right? And start digging into the code. There's Golden Path. Oh, that's the act reward where you can change the act map into a straight line. What does that look like? So it returns a list, default points type. Oh, wait, this entire thing is hard-coded. So this is the map. Oh, it's a list. It's an array of map point types. And presumably when that's provided to the map generator, it just parses through these and generates the map for us. Why does it still need to create a grid though, if it's a straight line? So it looks like the map can actually be divided into a grid of some sort. I think that was very evident in the map itself. We can take a look there. Let's dive into the game again and see what the map looks like. Okay, so this must be some sort of grid where there are 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 columns and 1, 2, 14, 15 rows, 15 by 7 grid that represents the map. I kind of got that feeling when I would play the game itself, because there's no single path that would give you more nodes than another path that you took, right? Each node gives you a certain amount of reward, and there's no path from the start to the end that would give you more rewards, more node rewards than a different path. That makes sense. Why do they define these middle and width variables if they're never going to reference it? Looks like these magic numbers are everywhere. Oh, I see. As we're making the map, we're stringing it with the previous one as if it's some sort of linked list. That makes sense. It seems like a very convoluted way to do this. Am I wrong? I think we probably just want to go to somewhere like standard act maps. Should replace treasure with elites. Debug app map. Big game hunter. What is big game hunters? Modify generated map. Maybe it's some sort of new game mode that we don't know about. So for all the map points, count the number of map points where the point type is elite, multiply by 2.5f. Is this because it's the big game hunter mode? Let's go back to the standard act map. Back on the main trail here, should replace treasures with elites. Seems to be a dailies feature where you can add an attribute to your run. We'll just ignore that and move right along. Boss map point again is going to be the standard at the top. Start map point is going to be at the bottom. Has second boss map point. And that is with Ascension 10, I believe, where if you are Ascension 10, there is another boss, yeah, that you need to get through to win. All right, generate map seems to be a promising function we could dig into. Get or create point from 0 to 7. That is referencing the 7 columns that are in the game here. I'm a little confused. 1. So I'm going to go through. Oh, I see. So the I0 goes through. It creates the start map points and it adds it here. And then it... Okay, wait, pause. I gotta think on this a bit. Hey, editing Arctic Crow here. I looked at the rest of the footage and I was very confused, stumbling around. So I thought, why don't we do a post-analysis on what we have here? I think it's a better way to convey what I learned. The live analysis section is better for on-the-spot discoveries that are fun, but once I've actually looked into it, I think it's better if I condense what I found and present it in a nicely wrapped package. So let's start at the generate map function that we had before. This section, we are creating the first layer above the starting point. So the starting point where you pick your act relic is going to be index 0, which is represented right here. This code represents the first layer, and it's doing a for loop iteration from 0 to 6, creating kind of like the seeds of the path that will be generated. And this part of the code looks a little special. If the index is 1, then let's do a mulligan. Let's kind of re-roll until we've got another point. What do I mean by that? So here I have 7 potential points. Remember the columns we were talking about earlier, and it's going to randomly generate a point on this first layer. So maybe the seed starts right over here. And once that's generated, that's going to be the index 0. It's going to go over to index 1. And index 1 is maybe going to select the same point, in which case this while loop is going to make sure that another point is selected instead. This, I think, is just made to make sure that there's at least 2 distinct paths that branch up. And so once the seed is planted, the start point is going to be added as its parent, and then it's going to go into the function called path generate. We are sending in the map points that are these initial seed index 1 path points. And using this while loop over here, we're going to make sure that we create all the points up to the boss guy. Okay, I added the boss icon so it's clear. So this variable map point is kind of used as the iterator, and it's passed into a function called generate next coordinates. Now we're in the generate next coordinates function. Let's pretend we're still working with this node here. We're going to get the column that it's in, and that's going to be 1. Right over here, we're getting the left and the right of the map point, and using the math max and min function to make sure these are clamped to either the left or right side, in case it is the leftmost and the rightmost. And then the middle is hard-coded. What this essentially does is it creates either a left, middle, or right for each node and generates them and connects them. This function over here checks for invalid crossovers. Let's say this map point also created a connection here. These crossings of paths are never allowed, so it just removes them. So then after that, assign point types seems to be the important one. For each in row, we're row count -1, then that's the very top. Otherwise, it's gonna go to the very bottom. Oh no, it's gonna put it in the middle spot, because this middle spot is right over here. So the get row count -7 is the center point vertically on the map, and it puts a treasure there. And for each in row, so the first encounter will always be a monster. And oh, so it turns the list that we've accumulated into a queue, and then it distributes these completely randomly. Okay, and if there's any that have been unassigned, it gets defaulted to a monster node, and then the boss point gets the boss point, the start point gets the act point, and if there's a ascension requirement for a second boss, you'll put a second boss. Okay, I feel like we've cleared this one here. That was really fun. Put this into action by maybe going to the mock app. No, that's for testing purposes. I think there's a specific one for the tutorial. Ooh, should apply tutorial modifications. I think that's what we're going to be seeing here. We'll need to be looking at apply discovery order modifications. What is this? Okay, I see. First run ever, presenting rooms in set order. Nibbit week. And that's going to be put into the first encounter. So these are all kind of hard-coded here. I thought this was a thing where everyone in playthroughs seems to run into the Birdonist Nest event. And I think this is something that they wanted to highlight. So these events are all hard-coded. What if we want to go and put something else here? Instead of Nibbit Weak, we put like Frog Parasite Elite. All right, I'm a new player. Enable tutorials? No, don't enable tutorials. Let's just jump right into the game. Let's see what my first enemy is. Oh my god. I've got my base deck fighting the Frog Parasite. Surely that can't be a good experience. That's going to be the end of the first mission here, where we looked at the map generation. Next episode, we're going to be creating our own custom cards. So if you'd like to see that, subscribe, like the video. It helps out a lot. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.